That was great. That was great! That was great. The Sixers W was phenomenal. Going into Milwaukee, a tough place to play, an insanely tough building to go in and win. You take a look around the league, they had 5 losses at home before this game. The Sixers go in there, A+ effort, A+ intensity, A+ focus. The Brett Brown coaching, A+. You say, Giannis, he goes off for 52. I thought they played him well. Early in this game, I think at half he had 17 points. We played off of him. We let him take the threes, even though he hit a couple player percentages. Well, later in that game, Giannis figured that out, that we were letting him shoot. He started going to the rack hard. I thought it was, almost let off a big one there. I thought that the referees late in this game called every single foul possible on the Greek Freak as he was going to the rim. Does he get fouled every play? No, it's a joke. Every single time he came down to our side of the court and went hard to the rim late, foul. It's a joke. But the way that Brett Brown adjusted, the way that Brett Brown threw different looks at him, whether it was Ben Simmons and Embiid, putting different guys on him, it wasn't perfect. It's hard to stop the Greek Freak. But the Sixers, even though we scored 52, I thought managed the Greek Freak pretty damn well, to be honest with you. Pretty damn well. The Bucks were just shooting. They shot 16 of 50 from 3. But you know who else was shooting tonight? Joel Embiid. And I will call this the 3 game. I will never, ever say that 13 3-pointers for Joel Embiid is a good number to shoot. Ever in my life. Nope. Not buying it. Not good. But guess what? Because he was popping them at will tonight, late down the game, he made big plays because of it. He was in the corner, pump fake, got a foul call, went to the charity stripe. And then the big dagger with 30 seconds left, he puts it home! With all due respect to Joel Embiid and his phenomenal night, I do not want to see him shoot 13 3-pointers again. Joel Embiid was a monster. In the fourth quarter, he was outstanding. Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter, outstanding. Jimmy Buckets in the fourth quarter is what we need. He needs to be on this team, okay? For the Jimmy Butler haters, that's what he does. He adds that to your team. JJ Redick had 19 and he was hitting the 3 ball and he had a nice stroke today and he found his game. Ben was a little quiet offensively, but he had a huge monster putback dunk real late in this ball game. He finished with 9 assists and 9 boards on top of his low points. Tobias, a little slow night too offensively. If you're going to relate it to what I said last game when it came to the distribution and how perfectly fair it was between the starting 5, it wasn't to that same degree this game, but it didn't have to be. This game was a different style of play. It played out differently. Joel Embiid was the monster. He finished with, where are we here in the points department? 40, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists. Outstanding. Joel Embiid was outstanding. Of course, everyone's going to remember all the 3-pointers that he popped, and I'm on the record, I really dislike 13 3-pointers. But he hit the monster one late. He hit the dagger late. This game was a battle between 2 really great squads. I thought both teams played well, and especially in the second half, the Bucks were pushing back, but the Sixers would respond. The Bucks pushed back, but the Sixers had an answer. This was a legitimate playoff-type game on the road, and the Sixers went in there and had a phenomenal game. They really did. Was it perfect? No. I didn't think they had a great job at the free throw line. I thought that there was another play early that we can learn from. It's a learning experience. It was the end of the first quarter. We were up 31-25, and Embiid pops a shot with about 3 seconds left in the quarter, which I thought was a little early. I wanted to just kill the clock. They end up grabbing the rebound, throwing up a heave at the half court, and TJ McConnell gets a pretty brutal foul, which allows them to go shoot 3 free throws at the end of the first quarter. Like I said, that's just nitpicking, but that's something you can learn from, because when you're in the playoffs and you're against other teams, that can really come back to bite you down the stretch. So, I just want to use that as a learning experience. So it wasn't 100% perfect, but it was a really successful, solid win for our 4th straight win, and we clinch playoffs on top of that. This was an outstanding game. I can't stop saying it. It was absolutely ridiculous how great this team performed when the Bucks were pushing back. We've seen this team clinch and get all scared and nervous and hold the ball too tightly down the stretch against teams. We've blown big leads against bad squads. But against the Milwaukee Bucks, we put together a tremendous win. We all say it. This team can't beat good squads. And I know the Celtics are a kryptonite, but this is a really good team. You have to give credit to Brett Brown. You have to give credit to Brett Brown and Jimmy Butler and this entire team and Embiid in the 4th. Excellent, excellent work. Now, there were times where Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid were off the floor at the same time, and you can see the Greek Freak maybe take that and then ride with it a little at times, because Brett likes this new lineup of it's Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, TJ McConnell, Boban, Mike Scott. And I'm cool with it. I like that lineup for when we do need to get some rest, but it was at times a little bit of exposure when it comes to the Greek Freak going off for some of his points. Speaking of Mike Scott, he dives into the crowd for a loose ball. I'm sure you all seen it. It was blowing up on Twitter. He dives into the stands for a loose ball, and he takes a beer out of a woman's hand and gives it a little how do you do. I didn't even know you could do that. Hilarious out of Mike Scott. But just speaking of this Sixers win, they turned the ball over 13 times. And as of late, I know the Cavs game was brutal, but you've seen the team hold the ball a little bit better. At times, you even had to go into the half-court offense down the stretch. But I always mention this. When we had the half-court offense that was abysmal to watch, there was no Joel Embiid. You put Joel Embiid in the mix, and you have someone on the low block who can go to work. See, the one reason why the 13 threes pisses me off, and it should piss everyone off, let's be real, but when he did go down low, when he was hitting that mid-range, when he was facing up other guys, facing up the basket and making moves, he was dominant. He was dominant. So I just hate that he settles for those threes when he shows throughout that specific game and millions of other games how lethal he can be down low. But when he does that and nails the three at the end, I kind of have to zip my lips and shut up and say, what am I supposed to do? But let's be real. Everyone in that moment was going, no, 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 yes! No, 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 yes! Come on. Don't lie. So down below, I want to know your thoughts on how great this win was. Who do you give credit to? Joel in the 4th, Jimmy in the 4th, Brett Brown in the 4th, everyone, the entire team. That was a solid victory on the road to beat a really good team that doesn't lose away. Now, they have Brogdon out 6 to 8 weeks, which is a pretty brutal injury for that team, but they're talking about him not maybe coming back until the second round of playoffs. That's a really brutal injury, and when they say that sometimes, that's him having to get back to the speed of everything with the second round of playoffs being involved. That's a tough thing to just get thrown into, so it'll be interesting to see how Brogdon ends up coming back with this team. But Mirotic came in, and they were just popping threes, and they weren't really hitting their threes. But you got to give credit to the Sixers' defense. I thought they performed well throughout this ball game, and they were hustling. They were grabbing boards. Second chance opportunities were there. We were just out-competing them to loose balls. Now, I do think a lot of that happened in the first quarter, and I saw sometimes in that second half when the Bucks were making a little bit of a run. Sometimes they outcompeted us here and there, but that's what happens when there's two really good teams battling it out. It's just a really great basketball game. Both teams get theirs, and the Sixers at the end of the day got theirs more. There were pushbacks between both teams in this game. That's what it's going to be like in the playoffs, and to get a win like that has to boost the morale of this Philadelphia Sixers fan base. It just has to. Just amazing. Just amazing. 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 Now, we can't overlook the next opponent before Boston. We have a back-to-back. The schedule doesn't help us here. We can't overlook this. We got to continue this high, build off this high as a team morale, and let's just take this thing and keep rolling with it. Let me know your thoughts. I'm so pumped about this win. It's a very good win. Very good win. It's been a nice stretch here for the Sixers. Let's continue it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.